Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 10 Minute Marvel. Today, we're going to be talking science and magic with Ironheart, as well as the new Fantastic Four trailer, and not much in the way of news and rumors. I am on Team Science, and your host, Peder. Co-hosting, we have Team Magic.
It's it's Greg, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I forgot to add a local anesthetic to my arm before inserting a black market tech Peder. So could you help me out with that? It kind of
Uh,
hurts. It
eh,
hurts. It hurts a lot, actually.
Make a deal with somebody. I'm sure they can help you.
Oh, okay. Like that one guy with horns.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you're
I
trying to
mean,
say?
yeah, it's for something as minor as a fairly well
Just
done
it's a
cut.
pretty big gash.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I was trying
yeah.
it's like think of the size of an egg carton. It's about that.
Oh, so you were a little bit less skilled.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, thanks for coming back, everybody. We appreciate you joining us again on this lovely week in July. Nope, it's still June. Still June,
Still June.
everyone. Just checking you. All right. If you're looking for ways to support us, you can find us on our YouTube channel. Search 10 Minute Marvel there. Give us a like and thumb smash is the words that were trying to come out of my mouth.
Yep, that's all staying in.
Yeah. Find and follow us on Facebook and X, hashtag 10 Minute Marvel. And of course, you can leave a rating and review wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from.
Yes. So, not much in the way of news and rumors this week. We'll kick it off with rumors. The first rumor being that Fantastic Four is going to have an hour and 55-minute runtime. Now, we've heard, I think, in between 2 hours and 20 minutes and to an hour and 55. I think both of us would prefer if it's basically at that 2 hour, a little bit longer mark.
Five
But
hours. I want 5 hours.
that's right. Greg wants the full uncut version. Need at least one intermission, if not two.
Yes, correct.
So, another rumor is that Sony has canceled all of their Spider-Man spin-off projects. Makes
Somebody's knocked some sense into him, it sounds like. Is that?
me- I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that they're just, I mean, they're probably just barely breaking even on them. I still am just like, okay, well, if you're not going to do them, sell it back to Marvel and make a whole bunch of money. But I wonder if this means they're retooling and after the third Spider-Verse movie, they'll announce a live action Miles Morales or something like that.
Yeah. Dump some money back into the Spider-Verse stuff. More
Yep.
Spider-Man, Tom Holland style.
hmm I
But
mean,
just drop the Sinister Six thing that they're going for. I think it
yeah,
obviously was not working.
no. I mean, if they want to make a follow up to K-pop Demon Hunter, I'm cool with that as well.
Excuse me, what now?
K-pop Demon Hunters went to Netflix as a movie, and it's an animated movie from Sony. It is fun.
Is it like fun, like 100 Beavers? Is that what is it as fun as that movie?
I
It's
don't know that movie, so I will
it's
say more fun, and it's actually a
uh
good movie.
okay.
But then, final rumor. There are only three rumors today. It's real fast.
Boring.
Uh,
Why it's a boring week.
I, there's a lot of rumors kind of tying into like Ironheart that I'm sure we're going to get into a certain character that we've already talked about before
Mm,
with that. So a lot of those things are popping up, and quotes from other MCU actors talking about Ironheart. That's kind of been the news cycle this week. But Michael B. Jordan rumored to be back for Black Panther 3.
I am not going to get my hopes up at this point,
Yeah.
but I am excited. And it's one of those I think many other actors, if it was a different actor, I'd
hmm
probably be like, what are you thinking? Like what, like, are you sure you want to do this kind of thing?
Well, it doesn't say for T'Challa.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but he's still good at what he does, I think.
Yes.
And so, and for him, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Bring him
Keep on
back.
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, first piece of news, we'll start with Tom Holland saying that Spider-Man Brand New Day, oh yes it is starting to film soon, which would be in line with what's expected, probably start filming this month, and then that gives them just over a year to get it ready.
it's going to go by
But
fast.
yeah. This month, I mean next month. Starts filming in July, I believe.
The month I thought it was for a second,
Right.
but then realized it was June. So
Right.
yes.
Still have two more, well, one more day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See,
Oh
it's
yeah.
all comes back to Spider-Man there.
And my inability to keep track of time.
Yeah, the combination of those two works
I'm a mess.
perfect.
I
Then the
should not
most
have children. That is for sure.
the most important piece of news for Greg this week is that Pedro Pascal has confirmed that it is his real hair that is being used in Fantastic Four First Steps. He is not wearing a wig.
Thank God. Because I mean, now if we can only get Cumberbatch, right? That's
Yep.
all I want. I want Cumberbatch to just not wear the wig. And then all is good in the world.
Hmm.
I did people think it was a wig for
I
Peder
don't.
for Pedro? Or you? You do kind of, I mean, it's questionable,
Hmm.
but no. Snap on?
It
No.
the
The,
whole the beard's fake. The
the
hair is
beard's
real.
that is snap on. The beard's a
Yes.
snap on.
Yes.
That's got to be uncomfortable. Okay.
Mhm.
Pedro Pascal, though, I thought nothing of him having done
Yep.
it. I always thought it was his hair. So I remember
Same.
that it was a little bit like, really? Oh, okay.
Hmm. Well, and I had to share it for you because of your strong opinion on
Yes.
Cumberbatch's hair.
No, it was
So,
worth mentioning for sure. I
mhm.
appreciate you.
So then the final piece of news, and this one I do expect us to spend a little bit of time on. Fantastic Four final trailer. And
You made me watch it.
I did make you watch it, and it is a really good trailer.
There's a kind of a lot in, it's not a lot, but it's something. Like,
Hmm.
let's talk about the thing's beard. Let's talk
Yeah,
about,
oh, so good.
well,
That one's snap on for sure.
that one for sure. What else is in there?
Well, he doesn't say clobbering time.
He
It's
does
clobbering
not.
time,
Yep.
which I kind of like. That's a pretty solid running joke to have throughout the film.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's probably going to say it,
Hmm.
probably
But third
somewhere.
act, yeah,
Yeah. Johnny will probably make him say it.
yes, 100%. I, I like that we got to see more of Johnny too. We got
hmm
to see more of him kind of doing. It's not as extreme, like over the top playboy character, but like he's still the team member who has his adoring fans. And I will say this from the clip that I told you you didn't have to watch. They're chasing down the Silver Surfer, and Thing is flying. Johnny is manning some sort of weapon, I'm assuming to capture the Silver Surfer. And Thing goes like, "Why haven't you hit her yet?" And Johnny's like, "I don't complain about just be or something about how he doesn't always complain about the thing's flying ability." And then basically says, "And it's really hard to shoot a, I think I can't remember if he uses the term hot or sexy alien." So they
It's
clearly haven't steered away from it as much as I think people immediately jumped to the conclusion
yeah.
when Joseph Quinn was like,
I
yeah,
mean, kind of you see, obviously it becomes more of a not a sexual thing, but like a
right,
it's like a the womanizer role, like they portrayed
mhm,
him as in the
right,
comics, and maybe what people
yeah,
expect him to be a little more like, but they have
mhm,
gone a little different direction in the movie. So,
mhm.
speaking of wigs, coming back to that, still a bad wig on Johnny. I really think that's terrible.
I
So.
disagree. It's his real hair.
It's his real, you think that's his real hair? Okay. Well, you
It
also have a
looks,
snap-on beard, so that,
yeah, I will say it looks better than his hair from Gladiator 2.
oh really? I didn't see
Hmm.
Gladiator 2, but it's,
I've only seen the trailer. Because I also haven't seen Gladiator 1, so I can't watch Gladiator 2 and have everything spoiled for
oh, you've never seen Gladiator 2? I mean 1
me.
or 2.
No and no. I'll see them
Sheesh.
when I'm dead.
Fine.
I do, and I called this out in kind of my video breakdown, not breakdown, but kind of initial reaction and impressions of the trailer. I really appreciate they haven't shown us Galactus's face.
mm, yeah, it is. I can appreciate that as well.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah, it's it's a great reveal of something for the movie. I mean, we have the same with Paul Walter. Hauser, Natasha Lyonne, and John Malkovich. Um, we don't know who any of them are playing yet. We've seen
Hmm.
John Malkovich's face, so there's some assumptions as to who he's playing.
Hmm.
But it's I like the fact that they announced some people are going to be in it, and instead of like the Deadpool and Wolverine, oh, are they or aren't they going to be in it? Sort of speculation. Who's going to have a cameo? How many cameos we might get with this movie? They were just like, these guys are going to be in here.
Hmm.
We're even going to tell you who Ralph Ineson's playing, but we're going to save the reveals for the movie.
Wise choice.
Yeah. And it also cuts down our speculation of like, ooh, who's going to be a cameo in this? I really am
Hmm.
not even thinking about that right now.
But every time I think about John Malkovich and his character, I think I really just want it to be an old Franklin that's come back.
Hmm.
I think him as Franklin Richards, as Franklin is older, is would be kind of cool, just
Yeah.
because it's John Malkovich and he's kind of quirky, and I think that's
Yes.
what Franklin would just for his knowledge, his abilities, what he can do. He's got to be a little bit weird, a little
Yes.
bit out there. So,
Hmm.
kind of hoping for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It could also be Nathaniel Richards,
Hmm.
Reed's father, who again
Yeah,
is kind of that kooky, a little bit weird, maybe has delved into time travel
yeah,
and like left Earth behind and now is coming back to warn them
yeah. I'd
about
settle for
something.
that.
Yeah. But I know that I think it's Red Ghost or something like that is the character who people expect him to be playing. And I kind of hope it's somebody different.
Yeah. It seems like I don't know much about Red Ghost, but
Hmm.
kind of seems
It's
a
a,
waste of
yeah,
Malkovich. Yeah.
yeah. What did you think of the Silver Surfer parts? I really liked what they did with her voice, kind of making it echo and boom the way it did. It
Yeah.
was a
I
better
just
feel.
I really liked what the was it Trank? Josh? No, not Trank. That was not that movie. The original Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I really like that, and I really like what they're doing here. So
Hmm.
there's some similarities, it feels like.
I mean, it's a silver person.
It's a silver
This,
person, right? But it
yeah,
just kind of their ambiance, their the way they move and flow.
yeah.
But yeah, I
I
think
think,
the vocal effects
hmm
are suitable for,
hmm
you know.
yeah. And I actually think that this surfer actually is more of a surfer. Like there were some moves in the second trailer that they were doing with the surfboard that
Hmm.
are actually surfing type moves.
Yeah, I believe she did some research on that, right?
I think so, yeah.
She I don't know if she learned to surf, but I think she maybe watched quite a bit because it definitely I've watched surfing before and
Hmm.
um it definitely has she picked up some stuff from it, right?
Yeah.
Just the way she grabs a board, the way she bends and
Hmm.
holds her pose, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're doing a better job with that than they did with the original Silver Surfer. But
Hmm.
that's also so much of that is a technological difference too.
Yeah. And honestly, it's Earth surfing that she is
Yeah.
doing. So the original Silver Surfer, I mean, you're making her mimic something that's Earth
Earth,
bound,
yes.
right? It's so,
Hmm.
but whatever.
But also, how else would you ride a surfboard? So,
I don't
like,
know.
you stick her on a surfboard, you're gonna have to mimic Earth.
Fair. Sure.
Yeah.
Lots of Hamilton. Hamilton. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
a surfer.
I hope that they do have her go through the board at some point in time,
Oh yeah.
kind of like they did with the original one, because
Hmm.
that was a cool move and
Yeah.
fun to see.
Um, I liked what I saw with Reed Richards stretching.
Hmm.
That looked pretty good. That
Hmm.
that was a newer shot, right? We hadn't
There were
seen.
two different shots. There was one that was newer, and then the other one was slightly more extended. Not in terms of you stretching further, but the scene went on slightly longer.
Got it. Nice. What else happened?
Got to see more of the baby.
Yep, she was holding him, I
Hmm.
believe, right?
Yep.
Um,
And we got to see more of Reed. I feel like this was a trailer that showed him off a little bit more just as a character too.
mhm. Yeah. I can't think of anything else really that stood out to
Hmm.
me. It was like you said, I thought it had some extra stuff in it for sure.
Hmm.
You're saying a little bit.
It well, it definitely
It,
had a fair amount of extra stuff. In terms of like with Reed stretching, it just had a little bit
yeah,
more.
but it wasn't a lot given out. Like
No.
they didn't give us much of anything new. It's just more of the same, thankfully, just different
Hmm.
shots.
Yeah, we did see, I think, more of what probably is Galactus's ship. We
Yep.
spent a little more time there, which was cool. That's fun to kind of be like, okay, yeah, that's a set piece. They had hinted at it before. So,
hmm
yeah, just a fun little addition there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Ironheart?
Let's go to the main topic.
Yeah,
I have nothing else to say about the Fantastic Four in it, but it's around the corner.
I
It's
know.
what?
Under a month. Under, yeah,
Oh, it's awesome.
coming up
That
fast. I'm excited.
I know.
So non-spoiler thoughts on Ironheart episodes 1 through 3. I'm going to kick it off this time
Oh, fine.
because I decided.
And you can hear my dog barking now?
I mean, I
No?
one time, yeah.
Oh.
So I thought the first episode was okay. I didn't think they did a super awesome job of kind of launching into the story, especially kind of with the whirlwind of kicking her out of MIT. But once she was kicked out of MIT, this has been a really fun show, and it builds and builds, and that third episode was really good. Like I enjoyed that one a ton, and it left a good chunk of mystery kind of at the end of that episode,
hmm
which I think it makes sense why they dropped three at once to get us to that point.
Yeah. I see why they have the three together. I think it was probably the best idea to have three and then three again.
Hmm.
Um, I'll agree. The first episode, I was kind of like, uh-oh, I'm not sure about this. Because
Especially that open was
yeah,
just like once you got past the video open with her and well, we'll talk about it in spoilers.
okay.
But
Um, I'll say that, yeah, second episode got, it kind of pulled me in a little bit more. I appreciate what they're doing in Chicago, like, and the representation of Chicago, and it's pretty grounded feeling, which I like.
mhm,
The action, it's a little bit on the convenient side, but like things are just kind of convenient in there, which
mhm.
I always kind of sense, but it doesn't bother me too much in this. And then like the third episode, I was like, this is surprisingly pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, is it like it's not amazing? I can't figure out whether I'm like I like it for what it is, or if I like it at the level I like it because I was expecting worse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, where's the bar sitting on that? Where am I coming from? So I would just say that episode three has really got me believing in the show more,
Hmm.
and I really have enjoyed it. And so I'm not sure why there is some of the hate that's been out there. I mean, I understand part of why that's out
Yep.
there, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's gonna finish off pretty amazingly. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it wraps up. And I did share this, I think, on Tuesday on Facebook. I shared basically like, this is why you can't trust the ratings because several hours before Ironheart dropped on Disney Plus, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes was at 35%. This isn't critics who may have had pre-screeners or stuff like that. This is audience score. So it's still
hmm
sitting at like 79% now on Rotten Tomatoes. So
The
even
critics
with
or the
both are in the 70s, I believe.
really,
Yeah.
that's
Let's
decent.
look it up.
I was kind of curious to see how the critics would see it, and do they kind of all band together? Do they agree with each other? Are there uh,
Critics are currently at 87%, and it looks like there has been another round of bombing on the Ironheart fan side of things because that's down to 57%,
uh
which I will say 57% with like no one active trying to lower it as much as possible is pretty solid still. It means that the people who like it are watching it and actually like people who are actually watching it are liking it.
I don't I just God, there's other things you can do with your time. What
It's the internet.
get a hobby. I don't know.
Yes,
Take a
that is
walk outside. It's
that is their hobby, and they definitely haven't been taking walks outside.
I
No,
don't get it.
that's mean of me to say, so I apologize. But
I mean,
I it I just find I agree with you. It's dumb. Why are you doing that? If you don't think the show is for you, don't watch it. Don't watch content on it and leave it alone. That's going to be more impactful than like negative press drives people towards stuff too.
yeah.
So you're actively hurting what you think your stance is.
Yeah, it's just energy tossed into a void, it seems like.
Yes, yes, it
So
is.
so I think I don't know, I really
I'm just really excited for the next three episodes, and I have to figure out when in the world I'm going to watch them. But
yeah, I don't know what I feel like this show is it's acceptable. Like
mhm.
I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean where they're going with it, like what they did in
I
episode 3 is
mhm.
it's its own kind of show, and yeah,
Yes.
there's things that are just not that are like I said convenient that maybe
Mhm.
are like it seems a little bit out there, but I just it's a
They're
comic
doing
book movie or a
mhm.
show, and it's supposed to be kind of like
Yeah.
things aren't gonna be like realistic, and so I have to remind myself of that sometimes. But
Mhm.
I how am I feeling when I watch it? I'm engaged,
Oh,
honestly.
super engaged, especially those last two episodes, like episodes two and three. I really got engaged with the
Yeah.
characters as we started to get to know more of them.
I
And
think, yeah,
yeah.
the acting and the characters are really what's doing this show
Mhm.
justice, I
Yeah.
think.
And that can be said for, I think, the best Marvel shows
Yep.
and the best Marvel movies. It's like if you have good acting and good character work and character development, yeah, that's that's what's going to make or break a show, and it's making this one.
Hmm.
All right, let's move into spoiler talk.
Yes, please.
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. You have been warned. Spoilers. All right, spoiler
We're
time
in
now, Craig.
spoilers.
Yes.
Yes, we're in
Where do you
it.
want to start?
Um, I kind of want to I kind of want to skip over episode 1, honestly.
Hmm.
There's really not much in there. Well,
There's minor recruiting into the gang. The big thing, I mean, yeah, there's really not much in
I
there.
mean, the MIT stuff, it's like, obviously she's trying to gain all this money. I still can't figure out what iconic means per se.
She wants, um, I mean, I go back to the example that that person gave on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube, on the comment on that. It's like she's trying to be collectible by telling people that she's collectible, and so she's trying to be famous and important by telling people that she's going to be famous and important, and that's what she's trying to do by being quote unquote iconic.
Okay. But and this is now I just now I'm going to go into some of my grumblings about the show just a little bit. So what I'm the iconic part versus like she's talked about how she can help first responders get to places faster and all these other things. Like it doesn't seem like she's trying necessarily be iconic. She wants to have this thing to be iconic, but like I thought it's also a little bit of I want to be able to I can make things that will help people.
Yeah.
And I can't figure like they're not driving one of the other
So,
home
mhm.
so much.
Right. Well, I think the issue is for her character is that while she wants to, and the struggle we're seeing on the screen is that while she wants to create a suit that can help first responders, she wants to do it not only because she thinks that it could have saved her stepdad and her best friend, but
Sure.
she also wants to do it because she wants to be the one to do that. She wants people to know it was her who did it.
Right.
And
She
that's,
wants
yeah,
yeah, this kid, she wants the kid from Chicago to be seen
yep,
and heard, I think,
you're right.
right? And so that
And
yes,
that's,
that can make sense.
yeah, and that, like, I think that is a big part of the plot is how those two things don't mesh
Right.
together.
And I just don't feel like they've driven that home as well because she talks like again about the iconic and I just and maybe it's just me, but it just seems like I feel like they could have.
They probably could have
Whole,
driven it home a little bit
yeah,
more,
just a
but
little bit more, just so
they,
I feel like she's got a North Star to go for, and
mhm.
because she's
Well,
got the drive, I just can't quite
mhm.
figure out what purpose the drive has behind it.
Right.
So
Well, and right now, I think the big purpose is, I think in her mind too, to be iconic. Like or it is just that people need to know about her and what she's done, but there's no way for people to know about her and what she's done unless gets a whole bunch of money. And because she
yeah,
can't
like
do what's important to her. And so I think right now we're seeing the character very much as the North Star of money and money at any cost almost like she throws up like, oh, I don't want to do it if it's this way, but then quickly is like, but I guess we're towing it just a little bit, but that's okay.
mhm.
Oh, and we're towing it a little bit further, yeah, that's okay because it's getting me what I want.
Right. That's and I really kind of like that about the show is how she's struggling to kind of find her ground and
Yes.
her moral compass is a little bit shook up right now
Hmm.
and she's I guess she's got morals but she's just kind of lost in how to get those things that she wants in the way that she wants them and she's kind of trying to take the shortcut and
Yes, she's
um
that's a perfect way of putting it. She's trying to shortcut it and doesn't she thinks the ends justify the means.
Yeah. So I think it's done really well.
Hmm.
And kind of honest, for me, that now brings me into some of the relationships that she's
Yeah.
got around her, right? I like that the mom is understanding, supportive,
Yes.
and also a little bit like when Riri was talking about her stepdad or like the garage and why,
Hmm.
she didn't take care of the garage or something like that. And her mom's like, I realize that you just got here. You've been back in town for a short bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit. Like
Yeah.
she's basically saying, I'm gonna let you check yourself on that real quick
Hmm.
because you're stepping out of line a little bit, but I
Yeah.
understand why. And so
Yeah.
I appreciate that kind of parenting. It's kind of refreshing because I feel like you would often see in some of these shows like the parent that is, just they're not really in tune. They're kind of disassociated from their kid, or they're like they don't
Yeah.
understand, or they're not understanding. They're not hearing their
Hmm.
kid. So it's nice to see that, I think. Is it
Hmm.
just a little bit of change?
Yeah, no, I thought that that was a really good relationship there too. And I really like how the mom is actually the first one to like understand the brilliance of Natalie,
Yeah.
the AI. And it's only, I'm not going to say it's only her, but I think her asking for Gary, the stepdad, to see if there could be an AI created of him, which I mean is kind of heartbreaking and like deals with interestingly with like ethical implications of AI right
Hmm.
now, but also I think it demonstrates to Riri in that moment of, oh, if this is actually like this is something that's important. This is something that I kind of tossed aside, but now I see how much of an impact it's made on somebody else.
Hmm.
Maybe I can work with this.
Yeah.
Maybe I judged it too harshly, even though it's forcing her to have to deal with the events that occurred, like the drive-by shooting that occurred.
Right. Um, Oddly enough, so I was on YouTube and I came across Rob from Comics Explained, and
Hmm.
he is driven nuts by Natalie. He doesn't like the AI.
Oh.
And I was trying to figure out why. Like obviously I didn't ask him, but like I just
Hmm.
was like, I mean, obviously he must have like another concept in his head, or maybe he wants
Well,
it to be more comic accurate, or
right.
he maybe doesn't like the acting, or just what they're doing with the AI, maybe. But
Hmm.
I just I really like the dynamic between the two,
Yes.
and I really liked. I don't know her name. I can't remember her name, the actress um, that plays Natalie. I see you're going for it. Thank you.
Yeah. Lyric Ross.
Lyric Ross. I think she's great, and
Hmm.
um, I also really like how Riri's face would dealing with some of this, just
It's yeah,
trauma that's been pushed down, and she's just pushed and pushed down and away for so long.
yeah.
So,
And it's literally forcing her to deal with the death of her best friend, because the best friend is there. But it also, I really like the fact that it is like it's an AI based off of Riri's memories. So it has all of Riri's smarts and stuff like that,
mhm,
but it has like it is the vision of Natalie that Riri has been holding in her head.
yeah,
And so it's not like this is actually Natalie. This is what Riri has been trying to hide away in her head, or has kind of I don't know, raised up as like, oh, we're only going to remember the good stuff sort of thing. And so Natalie plays into that. It's almost always the good stuff that's
mhm,
there, except for those moments where the AI has such a human reaction, like with the security guard pointing the gun, and
right.
the AI just freezes because it has that traumatic memory of Riri's around Natalie in its head, and it has to process that traumatic memory of the drive-by shooting, just like Riri does.
So that kind of brings me to something I was trying to figure out. Like, is this some part of, is Natalie just some part of Riri that, because it seems very connected, right? Because when Riri freezes, so does Natalie,
Yeah.
and vice versa, right? So they seem to kind of freeze up with each other. Natalie will glitch out,
Hmm.
when Riri was having kind of that flashback of the drive-by and whatnot, and the thing with the security guard as well. Natalie's freaking out, but so is Riri at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if there's more to it
I think
than
it's a
what we're
sim
seeing.
Yeah. I think it's as simple as Natalie is created from Riri's brain. Like it was a full scan of Riri's brain. So how Riri is going to react in some of those moments while Natalie is building herself off of what she knows the best friend to be, she has pulled in all of Riri's baggage too.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's more than that. There's like some connection.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd explain it though. I also,
Without
if they,
magic at this point. Like,
right,
we haven't had magic yet.
yeah,
If there was magic involved, then sure.
right. So it just makes me kind of wonder if that's going to be the direction it takes.
Hmm.
I don't know, and I can't say I like that or I don't like that. I'm not sure. It depends on how that would be
Yeah.
written and portrayed. But um, that aside, I really think that what their relationship has been something that's made me really enjoy the show.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that Rob with Comics Explained is wrong in what he's thinking. I'm just more curious, like, what is it that you don't like about it? Is it just pure annoyance? Is it, I don't know, just
Yeah.
uh, so it's more just curious because I could see maybe how some people would just think it's dumb, but I kind of oddly am for the character. I kind of like what they've done.
I
So,
think it's very important for the development of Riri too, as a
mhm.
character, to have Natalie as the AI. And now, I've read a fair amount of comics. I have read nothing compared to what Rob has read.
Yeah.
So he is much more steeped in that, and because of that, probably has more specific expectations going into stuff.
Hmm.
So who knows? It could be as simple as that,
Yeah.
which I totally get. It's hard to divorce your expectation based off of the original source material, um, and what comes out. Even if sometimes what comes out is entertaining or good in its own right, if it doesn't mesh with what you're thinking, then yeah, it throws you for a loop.
Yeah.
Can I go down a rabbit hole with an example here?
Go
It's
for it.
yeah. I was debating if I should or not. But one of the things that I learned in some of the creating writing classes I had was when you're describing something like a house, okay, you go up the stairs, you turn, and there's two bedrooms in front of you. You can picture that in your head pretty easy.
Yeah.
But if I say, all right, you go up the stairs, you turn right, and there are two bedrooms in front of you. Now, you were already building the house in your head as you went. So the second I add in right, I've now potentially ruined your house. You might have been like, okay, you go up the stairs, you turn, and you're thinking, oh, you turn left at the top of the steps for it. The second I say right, now your whole house has to be rebuilt basically from ground up. So I
Yeah.
think that that's something that when you really know a source material can happen while watching a show like this.
I had to rebuild my house because I had a bedroom on the left at the top of the stairs and one on the
Mhm.
right. So thank you for the extra
Yep.
work.
Yep. Well, then
Good example though.
there's a hellmouth beneath the whole house, but I was waiting until like the very end of the third act to be explain that and just
Oh,
completely ruin everything.
would there have been an intermission? Could I have left?
Owies.
Um, so I think with back to Natalie and Riri,
Yeah.
the and I think we said this earlier, the dialogue that happens in this show, it's
Hmm.
very unique.
Hmm.
It's unique in the sense of what Marvel's never really written. They've never
Hmm.
written like this before, I don't think.
I would say a little bit in Black Panther too,
Okay, a little bit. Um,
but
but it's I don't know.
the,
It's good,
mhm.
was what I'm saying.
Yes, and they're able to take it, I think, more authentically in this film than in Black Panther 2. Who's the next character you want to talk about? Because there are
Um,
a few interesting ones still.
let's let's wait on the hood. Do you want, I
Should we do
mean,
Joe?
let's do Joe.
Or should,
Ezekiel.
yeah, or should we do Ryan Airy?
That that was crazy.
Yes,
Like, I don't he hasn't even mentioned it yet. I kind of
he
wonder if he
did.
missed it. Did he?
No, he
I
mentioned it in his breakdown video.
Oh, because I saw Jessica Clemens, like she pointed it out and gave
Hmm.
props, but I didn't see his. It must have been a different video. I didn't get to see it.
Yep. But yeah,
Uh
Ryan Airy from Screen Crush was one of the Black Arms buyers or black market buyers
yeah.
listed on the screen with Joe McGillicuddy.
What an honor. What did he say? I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it.
He kind of glosses over it with like, oh, and then he's like this person, this person, this person, because all of them are kind of crew members on that
Yeah.
list. It's like then Ryan Airy, the host of Screen Crush, and this person and this person, and then he does after that kind of pause and just gives a thanks to everybody who watches the videos
Oh, interesting.
and his team because he's like, you know what? That's crazy. It's an honor. I couldn't have done it without everybody having checked out these videos and the team who helps them put it all together.
Yeah. Huh. That's good. Good for him.
But yeah, Stain.
I so my at first I can't tell how I feel about this character exactly.
Hmm.
I It seems a little bit it's not a weak character. I It's played well
Hmm.
and
Oh,
I like it, but I don't know. It's
how is he going
not
to tie in? I think is the big
yeah,
question. Is this feels like okay, you could set him up at the end of this as like he gets put away or gets in trouble for what he's bought, and that
right.
turns him to the dark side, and now he's the villain for Armor Wars, teaming up with like Hammer, Justin Hammer, or something like that.
Right. I definitely think that it's setting up so he trusted Riri
Yes.
and it's the trust is kind of betrayed even though it was accidental. The biomesh came off
Yep.
of Riri and it was left behind. So pretty sure that's going to come back around.
We saw it
Uh,
get picked up, so
yep.
it's coming back around.
It's coming back around. And I just kind of wonder if this is gonna, because he's so afraid of becoming his father that I think
Yes.
what was happening, just even by him putting that tech in his arm, I think that is the beginning
Yes.
of it, right? And he knew better to do it before, but then Riri's kind of nudging him in there and making him
Hmm.
feel safe with those kind of choices, and it's just not a good idea. I think he's gonna fall and he's going to turn into probably one of her main nemesises, right? I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he feels like he'd be a great villain for a Champions team.
yeah,
Like, have him be the first villain for the Champions team, because there's the direct tie to Riri. So obviously put her on that team. And he's his skill sets as a character are fairly familiar.
hmm I I think he's just going to be a useful background character as well, possibly. I don't
Hmm.
know, whether it be Kingpin and
Hmm.
black market deals or end up in Madripoor somehow, some connection to that. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's just, but I think that they're setting the foundation of why he is going to despise Ironheart, right?
Yes.
Because he's going to say, "You're the one that pulled me into this, which I never wanted to really do. I was
Yeah.
happier until you came into my life, blah blah blah." And
Yeah.
so
The hero is literally creating their own villain,
yeah,
and they're doing it well,
yep,
pulling it off well on the screen.
yeah. The dynamic between them two is good.
I like it a lot.
Um,
I
yeah,
think I think also too Ezekiel Stain is such a unique portrayal of a character where he's so not confident,
hmm
so unconfident, uh, that it's weird to see a character like that.
right. Because then they start trying to make up for that confidence in a different way,
Hmm.
which can be very aggressive,
Hmm.
or
I mean, he's just like, well, I still really don't have confidence. He's kind of always still calling her up and stuff for
yeah.
help, but now you've taught me that I can blackmail people, so I'm gonna start doing that.
hmm
My confidence comes from being able to blackmail you, not from anything that I'm doing.
Right. He's obviously fairly intelligent, right? So
Yes.
yeah, he's coming back around.
Oh yeah. 100% can be a villain, and I'll be here for it.
Um,
Should we talk about the team as a whole
sure.
and then finish off with the hood? Because I
Yeah.
think the hood then kind of brings us to a nice point of talking about what's going to be happening in the
Yes.
final three episodes.
Um,
The team is absolutely insane. They're n- they're not a good team.
it's I mean, it's an interesting team.
Yes.
I like they got the muscle, they got the brains, the tech.
Hmm.
Um,
They got the muscle, they got the hacker, they got the hardware, they got the person who likes to play with knives, and they got the
yeah.
explosives expert, and then they got the hood.
So yeah, who's your favorite out of this?
Um, so not counting the hood because he's
Yeah, not
that's
counting
kind
the
of
hood.
separate. I really like Clown, the
Okay.
the pyro gal.
Yeah.
She's just very chaotic in
I know
there.
it's a little unsettling, right? Like
Oh
she's
yeah.
a little bit off her leash when she's
Hmm.
if she's that's not the phrase I want to use. She's a little crazy, a little bit off her
Yes.
rocker kind of thing,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, I mean, they're all talking about, oh, what are you going to do with the money? Slug. Slugs is at least, okay, that's kind of normal-ish. You're going to create a Michelin star restaurant in Madripoor, probably. So you're not doing anything good
right,
with it, but because you're creating a restaurant for a den of crime,
yeah,
basically. But then Clown is like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a school so that I can launder money through it to sell explosives.
yeah,
Like, none of them are going to do anything good with that money, which
right.
is great.
Um, they're twins, right? They're
Yeah.
they're fine. I mean,
Hmm.
they're
We
skilled.
we
They're
haven't
just
seen
brutes,
much from them. Yeah.
right?
So there's the Blood Brothers in the comics.
Yeah,
These two are clearly a version of that.
yeah. Um,
Slug
I
is also in the comics too.
I honestly, Rampage. Did you forget about Rampage?
I didn't forget about Rampage. He's dead.
He says,
Eric
I
Andre
think,
costs too much money.
yeah. Who is that? Eric
Eric,
Andre?
yeah. Now Greg's gonna look up who Eric Andre is.
Yeah,
Why don't
yeah.
I do that?
Okay, I'll tell you then. I think John is probably my favorite, like the cousin, right?
Hmm.
So,
John was very good, also very dead.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's dead or not. I
Well,
think we're gonna have him come back around, but in more of a demonic sense.
possibly
He's really his. I think he's a really good actor. I think
he is.
I was really captivated by him. And I think that he just had an interesting place. He was concerned about,
He
he
was
had
the
a,
person.
he
He was the
he
person who
was
was actually family.
yeah. So he was trying to kind of steer Parker. in the right way and just kind of look out for him. He had a good heart, but
It's
obviously he was a
yeah,
murderer. He's just kind
yeah.
of an interesting character all around. His fighting style was cool. The knives thing I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever the title of that actually thing that he studied, which is a real thing. So I think he was probably my favorite. Clown
Hmm.
was kind of crazy for me. The Blood Brothers are like, eh, which is a Blood Brothers band. I wonder if they actually got that from
Well, blood
the comic.
siblings, and I think is what they called them here, but blood brothers is who it is in the comics.
Yeah, there's a band called
And,
the Blood Brothers, but
yeah, and Rampage is also a character in the comics.
yeah.
Same with Slug, I believe. Same with Clown.
Slug, I always hackers for me are kind of like I don't know. It's
They
hard for me
always.
to get past. It's kind of like the NCIS hackers, like how they're
Hmm.
just tapping away on their keyboards on their laptop,
Hmm.
and they're just the graphics that are showing what they're doing. I'm like, that's insane. Like that is not really what happens.
Yeah,
So I get thrown off.
Greg and I both work in IT and with technology, so we unfortunately know more of how things actually work. Not necessarily. No, neither of us have anything to do with hacking,
No.
but we do know how computers work, and that's not how they work.
I mean, it's some great AI stuff happening in there if they are, but I don't know.
It's yeah,
It just, I
it's
guess that kind of thing throws me off. The actor is fine. Like I have no
yeah.
problem with them. I
Hmm.
think just the way the whole
It's
techie part of it is kind of
mhm.
like meh.
It's very much hacking in TV shows and movies hasn't moved beyond the movie Hackers
Yeah,
with Angelina Jolie, and that movie came out in 1995.
it should be more like Mr. Robot is what it
Yes.
really should be. So
Yep. Yeah, but they're also it's for they're making it obvious what's happening for an audience.
yes,
Whether or
right.
not it's realistic what's happening.
But it just throws me out. I'm like,
Yes.
that's not, I can't even look past that. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Um, so yeah, I'll stick with John as my favorite, but the
Mhm.
team itself is fine. Um,
Yeah.
I
They're a fun team in particular for me just because nobody is besides Riri is doing this for anything that could be considered redeeming.
yeah, yeah. I enjoy the characters. I don't care about them. Well, that's not true. I kind of cared about John. I was like, that's
Hmm.
kind of like so in the last episode, right? He is left to suffocate basically, and Riri makes
Yeah.
the choice to leave him, which I thought was
Yes.
really interesting
Yeah.
because I didn't
It's
expect it.
hmm
I
it
had to remind
was
myself he was a murderer, right? Because he's
hmm
so gentle.
yeah.
I had to remind myself that he also killed
Except with
Rampage,
Clown.
except with Clown, because that's
Hmm.
what, he had smoked her head on the table. So,
Hmm.
um,
But I think I really like how that was yet another step for Riri, too,
mhm,
because she was in that moment being like, okay, I don't want to kill somebody. Like, that's been something that's fairly important for her is she doesn't want to be part of the gang. They're just doing white collar-esque crime
right,
in the first heist, and then the second one goes very much awry. But she's like, but John's going to spill everything, and I know that Rampage was killed by these guys, so I'm not going to kill him. I'm just not going to save him.
right, which
And that
is
moral justification
yeah,
is
which is
great.
and the way the episode ends with her crouched down, having a panic attack basically, and just
Hmm.
freaking out. Dominic Thorne really nailed it on that one.
Yes.
And I was like, wow. Like it's almost like I didn't expect that out of a Disney Plus Marvel show.
Hmm.
Like it was good. So I was just
Hmm.
kudos to her on that. Um,
Yeah, I want
it
her in the MCU for like another 10 years
yeah, I
playing
really
Riri.
enjoy her version of the character. I think it's a spot on
Hmm.
characterization.
Yes,
So
yeah.
the heck were we
And
talking about?
from what everything Koijandro has said, like he's done some interviews with her and spoken to her at some events. Like she is very much all in on the character and has done the research with the comics and really been intentional about making it her own
Yeah,
and making it a great character. I
yeah.
think that that shines through.
Before I think I'm gonna go in like before we talk about the hood,
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to reflect on the soundtrack, like the
Hmm.
music. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Ryan Coogler, if it's somebody that he's used before or what, or I don't know. But the music for this is interesting. It's fitting. It's got the right style. I just think it's really good. So whoever's in charge of the music production stuff on this, knocking it out of the park.
Dara Taylor is the one who kind of did the soundtrack, but I'm not sh there's the soundtrack and then there's the
Like the music's not a score,
score.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking more like the music that they use in the show, whether it be from different artists.
Yeah. But overall, like that the combination of those two things, like the music that has been created specifically for the show, as
Hmm.
well as the music that they're mixing in with this show, it's been good.
Yeah. It just fits the vibe of the show. It fits
Mhm.
that city, that Chicago inner city.
Yeah.
So
Just the like their ability to pick out songs with the right lyrics is very much it reminds me of Agatha All Along,
mm,
which consistently used songs that the lyrics matched what was happening.
yeah. Um, Even Alanis Morissette fits in here
Mhm.
nicely for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's
It's
Ezekiel Stain
uh,
singing
it's
it
yeah. I
in the
thought
car with Riri.
it was kind of funny. I thought it was a funny
Yep.
moment. I appreciated it. Um,
Again, she's creating her own villain because they bonded over
yeah,
Alanis Morissette, and now she's betrayed him.
yeah. Good job, Riri.
Hmm.
Let's talk Hood. Let's talk the Hood.
Yes.
Uh,
Anthony Ramos.
I would say obviously one of the standout characters.
Yep.
And performances.
Hmm.
I can't tell whether I like Dominique's
I think
or
I would put him at number three for me.
oh really?
Because I would put Dominique Thorne's performance. I would put, well, character names. I'll because I don't remember the name. Lyric Ross. There we go. I remembered it. I
Yeah.
think Natalie's performance is better as well,
Okay.
but it's real close between Natalie and Anthony Ramos.
Okay. I'm gonna say Anthony Ramos over Lyric because I don't know. There's something the way he handles the character, I guess the what he I I'm like, yeah, man, you should be doing these heists because these people what they do is wrong and he's talking
Yeah,
about family and he's like, I'm looking out for you, I see you. He's telling
mhm.
his crew, but
But he clearly isn't.
right, he's clearly got another
Hmm.
like plan.
Hmm.
And
Which is, I'm pretty sure is all about family.
yeah,
Still.
yes, still. But it's just I don't know. I thought he's just nailed it. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you can just tell like they're playing a character, but he is actually the character is kind of
Yeah.
how I feel about it. So
Hmm.
um I really I just enjoy the scenes that he is in every
Oh
time.
yeah. Yep. And
Um
it's just it's a balance of he's always kind of at the edge
mhm.
with his character, where it's just like, ooh, yep, you like you're being calm, everything's fine, but if something starts falling out of line, I know you're gonna freak out.
Well, that and also like John, when he and Riri were battling in that biodome garden
Greenhouse.
area, greenhouse is another word for it. Yes,
Hmm.
biodome is my favorite. It's a great movie. Just kidding. Um, in there, John mentions that Parker likes to be at those
Yep.
meetings where John
People
kills
die. Yep.
yeah, right? So it's like, oh, that is wicked in its
Hmm.
own right. So, I don't, man, just the way they've laid out these characters, I
Hmm.
don't know. Like I don't understand some of the hate. I don't get it because I think they've done a pretty good
I'm
job.
Yeah. Now, just to go back on that one last time, it's so much of that hate existed before the show came
Right.
out, and the continued hate and reaction to that is very much, I think, probably a lot of people who haven't even watched it
Mhm.
are
Probably.
still piling on. And I did one only once. I've clicked onto a comment section on a Facebook post just to be like, okay, what are people saying? And somebody was like, uh, I don't get it. Like, why are you watching a show where the main character is starting out bad. Everybody who followed up those comments were like, it's called character development and a character arc. Like, and then listed off all the other Marvel characters who have had that same arc.
Yeah,
Like Scott Lang, criminal. Now, a little bit more white collar
right.
and like Robin Hood-esque, but criminal. Winter
Loki.
Soldier, Loki.
I mean,
Loki is an extreme example.
yeah. I mean,
The Hood's
but there's,
pretty, Riri is pretty good compared to Loki.
yeah, like Thor was kind of just a tool, like a drinking party tool, right? Like
Hmm.
he didn't
Tony
really have any
Stark.
moral compass. Yeah, Tony
Yeah,
Stark.
yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It's almost not really worth like giving the time of day for
Hmm.
those kind of comments. But
Yep,
and it's more also just me thinking, wow, as long as these next three don't take a nosedive,
yeah.
I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised with what they came up with
Hmm.
because I was feeling kind of skeptical about it, honestly, and so it's gone past my expectations.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so Hood.
Yes.
I, and I think this has been mentioned too, but I thought of this. I just want to say I thought of this prior to watching. I think it was New Rockstars, the contract thing.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of impressed by myself actually noticed thinking about this and then having validation through New Rockstars picking it up too. The contracts that are being signed, like I feel like these are going to be for Mephisto, right? It's not contracts for business, it's contracts for souls. And so otherwise why the signature, like why the signature
Hmm.
in contracts is so old school. I own your soul because I'm a demon kind of
Yep.
play that in this day and age for
It's
business
mhm.
you're not, it just seems a little bit outdated for
Yeah.
that type of
Well, on the
contract, so
paper even looks old.
right, yeah, it's got a
And
carbon copy to it or something
mhm.
like that.
Yeah, and so I do think there's an element of that. I don't think it's necessarily for souls, but I do think like who owns the business now.
Well, see, I think it's for souls. I think this is Sacha Baron Cohen, if it actually is him. We'll say
Yep.
just Mephisto. I think he's collecting these souls for a reason.
Hmm.
We don't know what that is yet. There's a greater
Yeah.
understanding yet to be found, or at least for us to know yet.
Yep.
So I think it's something of that nature. But as far as what Parker's trying to do,
Parker's
he's
trying to
doing
take
it
down his dad.
right. He's got his own reasoning for it. He doesn't care about what the
Hmm.
purpose of these contracts are really for.
Yep.
So makes no difference to him. So
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping it plays out like that because I want it to lead more into than that what the demonic side is trying to do, right? Because
Hmm.
that could then maybe lead us into more
Scarlet Witch
things.
movie.
Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider,
Yes. Yep.
and even like if you want to go with
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns, the Hellfire Club was kind
Yeah.
of, well, that's
No,
not
that's
really
very separate.
that's never mind.
Yeah.
It
It's
just
not
feels so
aptly
demonic.
named.
It's right. And it feels they have that like aesthetic of like,
Oh yeah, the real creepy kind
yeah,
of
right?
like
Like the
this is the private club where you're going to walk through it
red
and then
velvet
walk
drapes and
right. You walk into the
cloaks.
back room and you walk onto the set of Eyes Wide Shut
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Or
the feel of it.
yeah, Twin Peaks, the red room of Twin Peaks, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of hoping for out of this, to be
Hmm.
honest. I think that'd just be a really cool hint at something that we don't understand, but I think a lot of people would be kind of like, oh, what what door, what's that going to lead to if we go through that door, you know?
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah,
I do think they have to keep it fairly subtle with that though,
at
so
this
it
point for
doesn't
sure.
yeah, so it doesn't take away from the show and have people being like, all right, when's this going to happen?
Yes, I agree. I think just laying some of the like, hey, this is happening. You're
Hmm.
not going to understand it so much, and we don't want to put a lot of focus on it, but this is
Yep.
a thing,
A thing, yes.
right? Because I mean, just having a demon show up and then just not having him show up again or having other reasons, I don't think that's a great choice.
Hmm.
But I think they will stick to Parker's story and his reasoning too. But I'm
Hmm.
hoping to see that other branch of
Yeah.
this carry out someday.
Yep. Well, and I could even see, depending on how things go for Ezekiel Stain, that could be something that ties into his villainous creation of he makes a deal to get out of trouble and then really buys in to the evil side of things.
Right. Yeah.
And again, that still makes him a great villain for the champions,
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah. I I think John will come back. I think Ezekiel, I don't
I
know
think
if
that
he'll
would
do
be
a deal
the
with the devil. I don't think Ezekiel will do a deal with the devil so much. I think he's just going to become more of a in the tech side of things, like with Armor Wars and
yeah.
Hammer.
Well, I'm kind of thinking he could do that not in the way of like I'm buying in on magic now. It's get me out of jail. I can survive there.
Mm,
Like desperation.
yeah.
Deal with a crossroads devil versus like directly I have a nefarious plan. And I
Mm,
think with Parker Robbins, he made the deal with Mephisto or the devil, whoever, whatever it is they say, in a much more I have a plan for revenge. Like this is
yeah.
not a good I'm not doing this to save myself or anything like that. I'm doing this to take down my father, who is the founder, CEO of this company that is funding all these other companies that I'm going after. And I'm trying to ruin him.
I
And
think I think it comes from a very genuine place, that revenge. Like I think that
mhm,
maybe his dad just abandoned him and his mom, left
yeah,
him for like whatever, and then this is his way of retribute. Like I'm gonna get back at him, and this is how
mhm,
I can do it, right? And I don't care because my maybe his mom died of a
right.
disease or something like that, and then he was nowhere. His dad was nowhere to be found or to help, and so this is like, all right. I don't care what happens to me. I want this revenge because you have taken away the one
Mhm,
person that cared about me, right? Kind
yeah.
of thing.
I think there's a chance his dad made a deal with Mephisto
Hmm.
to get all his money and everything like that to be able to fund all these other companies. And now he's living high off of everything. But the cost was his family. Like that's what it cost him is like, okay, you can get everything, but you're going to have to push these people away. These people are going to be taken away from you. And
Or
you're going to
they'll be
have to,
mine. Like I
right.
get,
Yeah, I get them. You have to abandon them. They're mine. And now that his dad is doing extremely well in the world, Mephisto comes to Parker and is like, hey, you want revenge? Like, I know you want revenge. I can see you want revenge. I can help that happen. Because Mephisto doesn't, it's not breaking Mephisto's deal with his dad if Parker takes out his dad. It's not Mephisto breaking the deal. Mephisto just made another deal with somebody that, oh, well, I
hmm,
guess they were at odds.
I could maybe see that. Although how Parker and why Parker has the hood,
Stole Mephisto.
right? But with that, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's definitely an interesting idea that his dad also is kind of owned by Mephisto as well. But yeah, so I the depth to Anthony Ramos, his hood character is
Hmm.
it is a pleasant surprise because I was like, I don't know what they're gonna
That
right because
first trailer was rough
yeah,
for his character. It was just like, well, good thing is this show is called Ironheart, so Ironheart looked good in that trailer because that's the character I expect to be good. Like that has to be good in
yeah,
this trailer, otherwise the show's not going to be good. But this might be one of the better villains for a Disney Plus show.
yeah. It really could end up being that way. I we got three more episodes.
Yep.
It may not be as strong. We don't know.
Hmm.
We'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to is it releasing on Tuesday or is it releasing on Wednesday?
It releases Tuesday at
8 p.m. Central, I think,
8
right?
p.m. Central.
6 Pacific.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. What was I gonna there's something else I was gonna say.
So I know last week we talked about what percentage chances that we see Mephisto. Um, what are your current percentage chances that
I'm increasing those now. I think it's a pretty fair. I'm at about a 90% that we get
same?
them in the next three episodes. So,
Yep.
they're even like, aren't they even saying like,
Like yeah, the character's coming.
the person you've been finally waiting for is here or
Yeah.
something like
Yep.
that? Um,
Yep. The person you've been waiting for is finally here.
yeah.
I do like the vision too that Mephisto gave the
Mm,
Hood.
yeah. Like,
The seeing John die
yeah.
on repeat, and then the shadow of Riri and the Ironheart suit.
hmm It's kind of like here's who you need to here's why this happened.
Hmm.
John's death is directly a result
Yes.
of Riri. So now he's got his scopes on her. God, what was it I was gonna say? I cannot.
Any other thoughts, predictions for the final three episodes?
Um,
What do you think about what you're going to say?
I'm hoping it just like I'll say something and it'll spark my memory. I don't prediction wise, I feel like it's just now. Oh, I think it was kind of I was gonna say something about she is gonna the suit gets magic, right? We've seen that.
Yes. And we've
That
seen
was
another suit too.
yeah. So is she making, and she even says this, I think they just put a little spot out for the upcoming this coming week's episodes, and it wasn't anything major, but she did mention how she has to use magic
Yep.
to
Well, and there's a
fight magic, right?
mhm.
So how is she going? She probably analyzes that piece of the hood and she can replicate it, which I'm kind of hoping that's not the case because that seems
No.
like
So
not magic. So,
they actually set this up in the first episode. Um there's a character we haven't seen yet who is the daughter of one of the women who was at Riri's house when she came back to Chicago
oh, right,
with
right,
her
right.
mother.
She used to
And
be on a show back in the 1990s.
the one of the people there, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
The daughter, I was like, no, the daughter wasn't back on the show back in the 1990s. They're not that
No.
old. But the one who was waving sage around to
Yep,
get rid of the bad
that's her.
juju, talking about obsidian, her daughter is into some of those magic-y type stuff and is going to be the one to help Riri infuse magic into her suit.
Uh, okay.
At least that is my belief, based off of like one image and the fact that we know the character hasn't been seen yet. So I would agree too, if she could just analyze it, I think she's going to try to analyze it and not be able to, which is
Yeah,
going to further lead her into panic.
the leader, did you say? Oh,
And further lead her
okay. I
into
was,
panic.
I was like, wait, sorry. I'm also looking up. I'm just. I need to find out what show this was because it's kind of driving me crazy. It was a spin-off show of the Cosby Show, that came out and it had the woman in it that you're talking about that has the sage.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, trying to find the
I
actress
knew one
here.
way to get there, but a different world. That's what it was. There we go. Got that. Now I just need different world cast. She was in that show. She was, yeah, good enough. There we go. I settled it. I'm sorry. I had to do it. It would have been driving me nuts. So you're saying that she helps,
Her daughter helps.
her daughter helps give magical powers to this suit.
Yes.
I don't know if I like that exactly.
Well,
But
I'm assuming it's based off of not just it's not going to be like, "Oh, I need there's there's going to be build to that."
right, yeah, like, oh, I have my daughter knows how to do magic. Here, have
Right.
her do this for your suit. It's not gonna be that. I get it.
Hmm.
Um,
I think Riri tries to analyze it, can't, and not even thinking about whether or not this is such and such's daughter will take it to some sort of magic shop
yeah,
or something like that to be like, "Hey, anybody, can you look at this? Help me, please."
but then to infuse her to infuse it with magic,
Hmm.
it's this is where I could see myself falling off the train a little bit because I'm not sure how I feel about a suit. It's something, I mean, Riri's all about, she's got the skill to make this incredible suit, yet she needs magic, obviously, to beat the hood. But it just, it's such a long
Yeah.
stretch between the two. Now, good writing can get you there,
Mhm.
right? But I'm just
And
saying, like, this
does
is where I'm
she,
like a little bit, I don't know.
yeah, does she actually need magic to beat the hood?
Right.
Is another question too, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it could just be the answer is she gets desperate, she tries to add it, and it backfires on her, and she realizes like, no, I have to build something that is true to me to be able to beat it. I tried to do a shortcut to getting what I wanted by joining a gang and robbing things. I tried to do a shortcut to getting what I wanted, the new thing I wanted, which is to stay alive, by using magic, and it got me X issue. I can't take a shortcut. I have to do this the right way
Mm,
because that and face my fears, face my problems because that's really where her character arc is going at this
yeah.
point in time.
I think the other thing it's not so much a prediction, but I'm just kind of wondering how if we'll continue seeing Natalie or if, like I said before, I think there's some other connection that's there.
Hmm.
If she will kind of get through some of that trauma
Yeah,
of losing a friend, and therefore Natalie isn't there anymore.
right.
Maybe she's destroyed with the suit. Maybe it's they're connected in a way like she just isn't needed, and so
Hmm.
a different AI is eventually brought into play
Yeah.
because Natalie goes away.
Or the
So
AI literally become the Natalie acronym, but
yeah,
isn't the projection and kind of that element
yeah,
of her
yeah,
friend. It it actually becomes an AI instead of
yeah.
her
Being her best
friend.
friend. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's an AI. It's just not an AI in the way that she wanted it to be.
yeah. I think I would rather have the like Natalie stay, honestly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think so. I think that that's a fun dynamic, and I can imagine some really good interactions if
yeah.
she's on the champions team
Oh
with
yeah.
like Kamala Khan.
Yeah, right. I think yeah, her what she would bring to that team is another level of like just fun
Hmm.
and quick-witted banter. So
Yes. And like she would 100% drive some of the people up the wall on
yeah,
that team, which would be
right.
great.
Yeah. Including Rob from Comics Explained.
Hmm.
Although I will say he did really like the show. So
Yeah.
it was only the Natalie character he was not super happy with.
Yeah.
So
So we're gonna wrap up there. We obviously have three more episodes to watch coming up this week, just like you do. If you haven't checked out the show, what the hell are you doing listening at this point? Probably should have said that sooner. Go watch it. Um, it's it is a very pleasant surprise.
yes,
Um,
it's a good way to put it.
hmm And I will be curious to see how it sticks the landing, and at the end of the year, see where it ranks with the
Yes.
three shows, live action shows, or just where it ranks in the whole year, too,
Hmm.
across all nine projects. Because
Yeah.
it's been a better year than I thought it might be with
Yeah.
some of the stuff that's come out.
Yeah, it's a lightweight contender, I'd say.
Mhm. So, with that, thank you so much for listening. Again, Greg gave a few ways you could help support the podcast at the
I
beginning.
did.
We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/nerdologists. The funds go to help improve the quality of this podcast, as well as the Melts and Meeples YouTube channel, the 10-Minute Marvel YouTube channel, and the nerdologists.com website. But with that, we will see you next time.
Mephisto, bam.